Tuesday, the 17th of March 2026, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 6:30 p.m. news live on BNews One. These are the headlines. Power has changed hands at the helm of the National Assembly of Cameroon following fresh elections this Tuesday, March 17. Honorable Theodore Datu was elected as the new Speaker of the National Assembly. The 6:30 p.m. news will bring up details of this election. And also, tragedy has struck the community of Baba 1, where a devastating fire has claimed the lives of 6 children from the same family. Neighbors describe a scene of unimaginable loss as the town reels from a disaster that has shaken every heart in the area. That was it for the headlines, the developments, and more coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure meeting you. I am Jackie Nibili, your news anchor. On March 13, 2026, in Yaoundé, the Minister of Public Health chaired the first session of the Interagency Coordination Committee of the Expanded Program Immunization. Partners from government, civil society, and international organizations gathered to strengthen vaccines access and resilience across Cameroon immunization system, as this report tells us.
On Friday, March 13, 2026, at the conference hall of the ministry in Yaoundé, the Minister of Public Health chaired the first ordinary session of the Interagency Coordination Committee (ICC) of the Expanded Program of Immunization (EPE). Technical and financial partners, public administrations, civil society organizations, and field actors gathered with a shared goal: ensuring equitable access to vaccines and strengthening the resilience of Cameroon's immunization system. The ICC serves as a platform for dialogue and strategic steering of the EPE. Its meetings are held quarterly to harmonize interventions and monitor progress in the field. These sessions focus on 3 main areas: reviewing and approving the 2025 EPE activity report, validating the 2026 annual work plan, analyzing the co-financing situation for vaccines procurement in 2026. These discussions built on the annual performances review held in January in Bafoussam, which assesses 2025 outcomes and outlines priority for the current year. In his opening remarks, the minister praised the consistent support of technical and financial partners, notably the World Health Organization, UNICEF, Gavi, and other international and local organizations supporting Cameroon in strengthening its immunization system. The year 2025 recorded significant progresses, including intensified strategies to reach zero-dose children, modernization of vaccine logistics, and strengthened transport and storage capacities. The minister also highlighted the diversification of partnerships as a key driver of resilience in the immunization system. In closing, the minister commended EPA teams for their dedication and reaffirmed the government's gratitude to all partners working to build a more reliable and accessible immunization system for all Cameroonians. The conclusions and recommendations of these sessions will guide EPA actions throughout 2026, ensuring that every child, wherever they live, benefits from adequate and sustainable vaccine protection.
The Delegate General for National Security, Martin Bagangele, has issued a stern warning to police officers nationwide, calling for strict adherence to professional ethics and signaling tough sanctions for misconduct. Fabrice Gezinga reports.
In a circular dated March 13, 2026, the police chief did not mince words. He expressed concern over what he described as growing indiscipline within the ranks of the Cameroon National Police, particularly misuse of uniforms, disregard for dress code, and inappropriate behavior on social media. According to the directives, all officers must strictly wear the official service uniform, complete with rank insignia and identification badges. The wearing of unauthorized items such as piercings, anklets, flashy hairstyles, and non-regulations accessories is now firmly prohibited. But beyond appearance, the circular takes aim at a more troubling trend: the exposure of the police image online. Officers have been warned against posting photos or videos of themselves in uniform on social media platforms without express authorization. Media appearances in uniform are equally move highlights a deeper issue within the force, one of discipline, professionalism and control in the digital age. The rise of social media has blurred the line between private conduct and public duty. For a security institution, such lapses could have serious consequences on credibility and public trust. Even more alarming is the issue of confidential information leaks. The Delegate General has drawn a red line. Any officer found sharing classified or sensitive documents will face disciplinary action before the Council of the National Security. The circular also reminds officers that wearing foreign honors without prior approval from the President is strictly forbidden. Another sign that hierarchy and protocol must be respected at all levels. This is not just a routine reminder, it is a clear warning. The era of laxity within the police force appears to be over. Officers who fail to comply with these directives risk sanctions and could damage or even end their careers. As the leadership tightens its grip, the message is clear. Discipline, discretion and professionalism are no longer optional in the police force. They are mandatory.
In Jouvence and in Benda, sanitation teams have carried out a final cleanup operation, bringing to an end a 4-day campaign launched to tackle mountain waste across the Yaoundé 3 subdivision. Micheline Biloua.
Launched on Friday, March 13, the sanitation drive, initiated by the mayor of Yaoundé 3, Vukas Owuna, has officially come to an end today, March 16, 2026, with the neighborhood of Jouvence and Beda hosting the final phase of the operation. This large-scale cleanup exercise was rolled out in response to persistent waste collection challenges faced by Ticlof, the company in charge of garbage disposal in parts of the city. In the face of growing piles of refuse and the multiplication of illegal dumping sites, municipal authorities step in, deploying trucks, machinery, and sanitation workers to restore order and cleanliness. In Jouvence, teams focus on clearing long-standing waste hotspots, opening up blocked areas, and improving overall hygiene conditions. Residents watch as heaps of garbage were evacuated, marking a significant improvement in the living environment. Over the past 4 days, similar operations were conducted in key neighborhoods, including Victor Hugo and Sumeyon, with the objective of eradicating anarchic dump sites across the subdivision. Authorities say, beyond this emergency response, the initiative is part of a broader effort to safeguard public health and reinforce sanitation standards. As the campaign wraps up, residents are being urged to adopt responsible waste disposal practices to preserve the gains achieved. For many in Yaoundé 3, this operation not only brings relief, but also renewed hope for a cleaner and more sustainable urban environment.
6 decades of resilience, creativity, and commitment were on display in Yaoundé as Edition Clé celebrated its 60th anniversary. The milestone event brought together authors, readers, and cultural stakeholders to reflect on the publishing house's journey and its enduring role in promoting African literature in the digital age.
On va encore applaudir pour elle. Merci.
Edition Clé has celebrated its 60th anniversary in Yaoundé, marking 6 decades of contribution to the promotion of African and Christian literature. Held under the theme of resilience, creativity, and commitment, the celebration provided an opportunity to reflect on the journey of this pioneering publishing house in Francophone Africa. From its beginnings in 1963, as the structure focused on evangelization to its current recognized status by the state of Cameroon, Clé has continuously adapted to the challenges of modernity, competition, and digital transformation. For its leaders, the mission remains clear: to promote African thought through literature while embracing technological innovation.
Edition Clé celebrates 60th anniversary today, created in 1963 to promote African literature. That was the aim. Edition Clé was created by Protestant churches of French Africa and present in 6 French African countries. We have as challenges ever since we were created book piracy that kills the book industry. So as we celebrate 60 years of existence of service to African literature, we are inviting everybody to be aware of pirated books, parents, and at the same time we also want to encourage that Cameroonians they should develop a habit of reading, because we are at their service. It's about knowledge, and a people with knowledge are a people who can go far. So
today, alongside printed books, Edition Clay also offers digital formats and it's exploring stronger online visibility. A highlight of the celebration was the book signing of Cameroonian philosopher Ebenezer Mwele and the English release of his renowned work From Mediocrity to Excellence, which sparked meaningful exchanges with students on values of excellence and perseverance. Despite the rapid rise of digital media, both authors and publishers reaffirmed their attachment to printed books, describing them as irreplaceable. The celebrations running until March 19 will conclude with reflection on the future of Edition Clay and its commitment to supporting the next generation of writers.
Still concerning literature, a powerful call for self-liberation and dignity echoed through Yaoundé as Juliette Dorian-Ga Bidjo launched her book Je me désabonne. Through emotional testimonies and bold reflections, the author challenges individuals to reject prejudice, judgment, and all forms of violence shaping everyday life. Details.
En fait, on est dans une société où on a longtemps été abonné à des standards que la société nous-mêmes a fixés pour nous.
It was in a warm and deeply emotional atmosphere that the book launch ceremony of Je me désabonne by the author Juliette Dorian-Ga Bidjo took place. Friends, readers, cultural figures, and distinguished guests all turned out to celebrate this work, which challenges societies and its excesses. At the heart of the book is a strong message, learning to free oneself from what destroys. Prejudice, criticism, verbal and physical abuse. The author encourages everyone to make a conscious choice to preserve their dignity and inner balance. Throughout the evening, several activities shaped the ceremony, including the presentation of the book, readings of selected excerpts, and moving testimonies from members of the audience. These moments offered deeper insight into the author's approach and the social impact of her message. Participants, visibly touched by the message conveyed in the book, praised the courage and the commitment of Juliette Dorian-Ga Bidjo. For many, Je me désabonne stands as a true call of awareness on a society often marked by judgment and various forms of violence. This emotionally rich and engaging ceremony ultimately highlighted a committed work that encourages everyone to reclaim their voice, their worth, and their future.
A devastating fire has claimed the lives of 6 children from the same family in Baba 1 in a tragedy that has left the entire community in shock, as Micheline Bilowa says.
The incident occurred in Baba 1, located in the Babasi subdivision in the Northwest region. According to local sources, the victims, 6 children aged 8 and above, were asleep inside their family home when the fire suddenly broke out during the night. Trapped inside a locked house, their children were unable to escape as the flames rapidly spread through the building. Neighbors, alerted by the blaze, rushed to the scene and made desperate attempts to rescue them, but their efforts were unsuccessful. Reports indicate that the children's mother was sleeping in a nearby house at the time of the incident, unaware of the unfolding tragedy until it was too late. By the time help arrived, the fire had already caused irreversible damage. The cause of the fire remains unknown, with no official explanation yet provided. Local authorities are expected to open an investigation to determine the origin of the blaze and the exact circumstances surrounding the incident. This heartbreaking loss has plunged the community into mourning, raising renewed concerns over fire safety and emergency response in residential areas. As families in Baba 1 come to terms with the tragedy, calls are growing for increased awareness and preventing measures to avoid such devastating incidents in the future.
As I earlier announced in the headlines, power has changed hands at the helm of the National Assembly of Cameroon following fresh election this Tuesday, March 17. Honorable Theodore Detu was elected as the new Speaker of the National Assembly. He then replaced his Honorable Tavai Yege Jibril, who has served in that capacity for 34 years. Fabrice Kedinga joining us from the Pobia Glass House.
Thank you for joining us and welcome to the Pobia Glass House, the National Assembly of Cameroon, where a wind of change have swept through this building. We have the new president of the Cameroon National Assembly. He is Honorable Dato Theodore, 66 years old member of parliament from the Upper Plateau Division in the West Region of Cameroon. He was elected during a plenary session this afternoon here at the National Assembly by 133 to 147 votes. We have spoken to a couple of members of parliament who have expressed their happiness following the wind of change that has swept through the National Assembly. They say this is the change Cameroonians have been demanding for, and the change has finally come. So at the moment, we have the elections of the vice presidents of the National is currently taking place, but we can confirm from here that there has been a change at the helm of the National Assembly of Cameroon. Honorable Dato Olivier replaces the Honorable Cavalier Yege Jibri, who has been serving in that position for the past 34 years. From the National Assembly in Yaoundé, Fabrice Kedinga and Germaine Asiga on special assignment.
The change has come. Thank you very much, Fabrice Kedinga. Until something else, communities in Garwa have received donations from the President of the Republic as the holy month of Ramadan draws to a close. The distribution ceremony held at the Lamidat of Garwa and presided over by the Lamido of Garwa, His Majesty Ibrahim El Rashidin, as you will hear from the following reports.
The distribution of donations from the President of the Republic to local communities. The event was presided over by His Majesty the Lamido of Garwa, Ibrahim El Rashidin, in the presence of prominent figures from the North region, including Mrs. Aminatu Aijo, the chairperson of the Board of Directors of the Yaoundé Congress Hall. As the holy month of Ramadan draws to a close, this act of generosity by President Paul Biya provided support to traditional leaders as well as to women in Garwa and surrounding areas. In the spirit of sharing and solidarity, the Lamido of Garwa took the opportunity to offer words of wisdom to traditional leaders and residents, ushering them to foster peace, social cohesion, and respect for the institution of the Republic. During this month of mercy and giving, His Majesty Ibrahim El Rashidin, both a traditional authority and spiritual guide, emphasized that acts of charity strengthen communities and reinforce bonds among people. Speaking on behalf of the North elites, Madam Aminatu Aijo encouraged the population to remain united, promote harmony, and uphold the ideals of the head of state. The donation, primarily composed of food supplies, also provided direct support to women, the pillars of households, helping them prepare for the festive meals marking the end of the Ramadan. Through traditional leaders, this assistance is expected to reach neighborhoods and villages, further enhancing community solidarity and social cohesion. Recipients expressed profound gratitude to President Paul Biya for his heartfelt gesture. Through this action of generosity, the father of the people of Garwa reaffirms their loyalty to the head of state and commitment to peace, unity, and communal harmony.
And beyond our borders, at least 23 people have been killed in suicide bombing in Maiduguri, northeast Nigeria, and elsewhere. Internet has been cut in the Republic of Congo as citizens await presidential election results. Micheline Biloa.
In Nigeria, at least 23 people have been killed in a series of suicide bombings in Maiduguri in the northeast. The attacks targeted crowded locations, including a main market, a post office, and areas near a hospital, causing panic among residents. Authorities say several attackers detonated explosives almost simultaneously, highlighting ongoing security challenges in the region. Emergency services have been deployed, while security forces are on high alert to prevent further incidents. In the Republic of the Congo, authorities have cut internet access as the population awaits results from the March 15 presidential election. The blackout has limited communication across the country, raising concerns among citizens and observers about transparency. In Brazzaville, many residents say they are left in uncertainty, unable to access information or follow developments. Officials have not specified when services will be restored. In the Middle East, Donald Trump has called on U.S. allies to take greater responsibility in securing the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. president criticized several partners for their reluctance to get involved, despite the strait being a key global route through which around 20% of the world's